6ix9ine's request to delay his upcoming sentencing date has reportedly been approved by a judge. He is now set to be sentenced on December 5th, where he could be facing 3 to 9 months in prison for allegedly violating the terms of his probation. So that was that. And now that caught you guys up to today. Well, it turns out that y'all remember this little ride right here? Yeah, that's when they were busting through Tekashi 6ix9ine's house because he got caught with a whole lot of stuff. And today he got sentenced. Man, let's go ahead and do it. Sentence. Exclusive details. Tekashi 6ix9ine, 3-month prison sentence will be my fit camp. Expecting PC situation because of snitch reputation. 2:04 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. TMZ 6ix9ine, Tekashi 6ix9ine tells TMZ Hip Hop he isn't worried about his looming 3-month prison sentence come January. He'll be confined away from the madness and will use the solitary to get in shape. We caught up with 6ix9ine following the judge's verdict, and he says the sentence was fair, feeling the judge got to hear all the facts he and his legal team presented. Tekashi has to report back on January 6th, but suspects he'll be housed in a secure unit because of his snitch status. Tekashi says he's never been attacked in prison and doesn't think it'll happen this go around, but does admit he's pretty fat and needs to get his weight now. That's hilarious. The rainbow hair rapper is currently sitting at a plump 190 pounds and aims to get down to 120 pounds only by eating 1 box of Oreo cookies each day. Brad, funny as hell, man. He carried the same energy outside the courtroom. Time will tell, but he thinks he'll be able to stay straight after prison. Tekashi 6ix9ine just got a huge break at his sentencing Friday. Feds had been pushing for the rainbow hair rapper to get prison time on various probation violations, and the judge agreed to just 6 months. The judge labeled Tekashi a dumpster fire during his sentencing in federal court in New York City on Friday and explained the violation requires prison time no matter what, but he opted not to throw the book at him. He now has a report dated January 6, 2026. It was the same judge who granted his conditional release during the COVID-19 pandemic and felt smarter decisions would be made, but apparently they have not. The rapper had previously fessed up to possessing the opposite of Pepsi and X, in addition to pleading guilty to assaulting a man in a mall who called him a snitch to his face, which would literally contradict how you gonna say that you get the snitch label in prison, but you can punch somebody outside. But it is what it is. 6ix9ine has been on probation since coming home in 2020 after his highly profile racketeering case involving the Nine Trey Gangsta Bloods, where he testified against them after claiming they double-crossed him. Feds raided Tekashi's property earlier this year when they recovered the drugs. At least he'll have about 90 days to sober up now. And I'm gonna be honest. Tekashi 6ix9ine said that, hey, bro, the people who broke into my house, there were kids and all this stuff and everything and blah, blah, blah. Kids with guns? Yeah, I still, once again, I believe he set that up. And so be it. It worked. He was looking at 3 to 9. That's what they said in the previous article. I thought he was looking at 2 years. I thought it was like 3 months to 2 years. But I could be wrong, and that's fine. But I believe he set that up because the judge basically said flat out, hey, when they pushed the date back for him to be sentenced, the judge basically said, yo, you know what? Go ahead and we'll push your court date back so that you can set up all this stuff with your moms and all that because you got robbed. I think, this is what I think. I think Tekashi set it up based on knowing that and seeing how the judge would react, because he's been making a mockery of this whole entire.
About what the prosecutor said, that you might get out on time served. You're giving us extra information. This is unnecessary. We're not even asking questions anymore. What do you hope to get out of this? Hold on.
That's enough info. We got what we needed. Wrap this up, bro.
Okay. I'm not done telling. What do you hope?
Doing the live streams, making fun of like jail situations and all that. And last I checked, and maybe it's just all comments and all that crap from people who've been in jail and people who've been in prison, they don't like this shit. The ones who've been there, You don't see cats who already been in prison or already been in jail, them basically redoing this shit. What you do have at times, and I do know somebody who did do the locked up stuff who was a felon, but they had to get up out of there. They couldn't. They were like, I'm gone. I can't do this shit. No, I gotta go. I gotta go. I can't. Hell nah. I'm out. I can't do this one. So when I see certain things like this that exist, it always makes me wonder, how dumb are people? Judges are human beings as well, right? In the video, and I'm going to tell you guys to click on at the end, the judge in the Diddy case, he basically say, we heard you, to Cassie and everybody, right? And people misinterpreted what he said, right? In the documentary, and this is all going to correlate to 6ix9ine. I know some of y'all think I'm getting off subject. No, I'm not. The judge said, we hear you, and people thought, oh my gosh, no, he's talking about it's domestic violence. And that's what juror like 106 said. This wasn't a case about domestic violence as far as Diddy kicking this woman and all this stuff down the hall. No, the way the feds pointed it was Stockholm Syndrome due by force of coercion. But the judge basically was like, I hear you, I read everybody's stuff, but the victims matter the most. I'm willing to bet that Tekashi wrote a letter to that judge basically begging and begging and begging, and knowing that he was not going to escape out of this crap, knowing that he was going to go back to jail or federal prison for a while, knowing all of this shit, I 100% believe that's what happened and he used that. Now, some of y'all are probably feeling bad for Tekashi. I would ask you the simple question, why? How could you feel bad for him? Because at the end of the day, he did participate in the shit that went on. Now, do I care that he told on Treyway and all the Nine Trey Bloods and all that? Nah, not really, because I can understand where he's coming from. I didn't believe the bullshit about the polygraph test saying he wouldn't have told had his homies not crossed him. I'm sorry. I don't believe that one. But what I do believe is that he is more intelligent than he is smart, meaning he knows how to manipulate people. He definitely does. So with that being said, they'll go in January 6th and then come back out, presumably April 6th, March 6th, whatever the hell, do his 90 days and come back home and still be on that goddamn ankle monitor and all this crap. Yeah. But I think this time when he gets out, he actually, quote unquote, does the right thing. And some of you will go, well, how the hell do you know he'll do the right thing? Because the money from streaming, he's been able to essentially craft his own way, craft his own lane, and place things how he wants to place them. Meaning he's able to basically get on the internet and play with y'all the way that he knows how to play with y'all to come off likable. There's nothing on this, by the way. I know what y'all thinking, like, oh, he's reading, because I just seen this shit. Nah, it was just right there. That's one of the things I use when I'm creating these thumbnails. So, yeah, bro, I don't believe 6ix9ine, but I do believe he was intelligent enough to basically sway the freaking judge, and it worked. And do I hate on that? Hell nah. You got to do what you got to do at the end of the day. Nobody wants to be in jail. Nobody wants to be in prison, except those who were bums. And I don't mean like actually homeless people. I mean pathetic people who don't want the responsibility of being a man. They choose to go there. 3 meals, shower, medical care, dental care, all of that crap, all at the expense of the American taxpayer. I do know people, and we all know people who are just like that have been in prison. But Tekashi, we'll see you when you get out. He'll still be streaming. He'll still be doing all this stuff, and people will still watch. Will it phase out? I don't know. I have no idea. But in the 3 months that's going to happen by the time he gets out, somebody's going to get killed on camera again. Some rapper's going to die. It's going to happen in March, and it's going to basically tear the whole world apart. We got the Lil Durk stuff coming up. Lil Durk's trial is supposed to be happening and all this shit. So there's a bevy of things that are supposed to happen. So by the time he gets out, there's going to be a bunch of things that already happened. We'll have YNW Melly update. We have the Mo 3 stuff going on. So it is a whole lot of things for him to get to by the time he gets out. And y'all know we all like opinionated people like myself. Hit that like button real quick if you can. Help a friend, help the man. Y'all be slagging on the likes. I don't know why, but hey, it is what it is. But other than that, sure to keep your people aware. Subscribe, turn on bells to notify. Click right here to see how Diddy was a monster, but the answers or the top 10 things you should have looked for get explained. Click right here, click right here, click right here for the playlist. Get you through your day. I will catch y'all in the next one.